If you go on to enjoy the video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing. It does really help me out a lot. And if you're into Funko Pops, I've just started a brand new channel dedicated to them. The link for that can be found in the description. And beat the random lottery that is FIFA points by buying the coins direct from u7buy.com. Use code TVM at checkout for a 5% discount, or if you're a new customer, get 8% discount. The link is down below. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to a brand new video with the introduction of some new cards into the game this week and the promo player days seemingly only lasting for about 4 of them, which is strange. I thought it'd be a good idea to take a look at the cards that we could potentially get as flashbacks. We've already had one, of course, in Joe Hart. He was put into the game and a day later he was given a flashback card. It could be the same for the majority of these players. There are a sprinkling of non-new cards in the game, if that makes sense. Ragoni is up first. He's been on his screen for a little while. He doesn't look particularly great, but this is a flashback to, I think, FIFA 19, possibly FIFA 18. He was on the verge of big things and then sort of just dwindled away. Ivanovic back in the Premier League for the first time in a while, and actually back in FIFA for the first time in I think 2 years. He was absent through 19 and 20 and now back in as a centre-back for West Brom. Now, unfortunately, he wouldn't be the fastest of centre-backs, but, I mean, they could give him a higher-rated card, sure, but that's what I think it would look like. Like Remy is almost certainly going to get the flashback or player moments treatment at some point. I think he had one last year. He's probably going to get one again. It's going to look very, very similar. I think he had a Team of the Season nominee or something of that. What was it? Players Team of the Season moments, I think they were called, back 2 FIFAs ago, and it looked very similar to this. Moving on to Lamar, a returning player because he's been in the game the entire time, but he hasn't had a special item and he's French, so let's be honest, it's inevitable that he gets some sort of special card at some point. I will do a player moments predictions because I feel like there will be a larger selection of existing players in that rather than returning players such as our next one, and that's going to be Pedro. He, of course, used to play for Chelsea, amongst others, and is now at Roma. Was out of the game for a while where he was looking for a club, found one, EA has put him back in, and here he is. Could get a flashback to, I think it was a FIFA 19 flashback card that he actually got. It was around 87, 88 rated, might have been 89, but expect to see this. Gal Clichy, I feel like he had one last year. A lot of these players have already had flashbacks quite recently in terms of like last FIFA or the FIFA before, but that doesn't stop EA from doing anything. They may just give them a player moments card, so you may see a few duplicates when we do that video tomorrow, but Gal Clichy back in the game. Could be back in as an SBC very soon. Skriniar, is it too soon to give a player that is actually still quite young a flashback card? He could potentially be up for a player moments, and again, like I said, don't be surprised to see a few of these duplicated in tomorrow's video, but he hasn't really done an awful lot this season in terms of special items. He has had Team of the Seasons in the past, so he is a candidate, as is Malang Sarr. I know, back in the game, obviously was out of the game when he moved from, was it from Nice to Chelsea, and then he went on loan to Porto. It was a strange cycle of events, but he had a FUT birthday card last year that looked very similar to this. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get a special card of some description. Whether they're saving it for summer heat or something of that nature, I don't know. Moving on to a player that is almost certainly going to get himself a flashback card at some point, it is Quaresma. If you go and look at the card they've put into the game, it is embarrassing. They've given him no legs, they've taken away his 5-star skills. He's had 5-star skills in FIFA since like FIFA 12. And now all of a sudden he's back in the game, and apparently he's forgotten to do an Elastico. Doesn't make any sense to anyone involved. Give him his 5-star skills back. Martinez, a card who terrified people when he got his Player of the Month. Was it last year or the year before? I think it might have been the year before. He had a Player of the Month, and it was frighteningly good. And then he had a Team of the Season, and that was outrageous as well. MLS has been on and off. I think he may have been injured as well, but this could be an unbelievable card. Moving on to Vasalco. Remember this guy? I had to check he was still in FIFA actually a few weeks ago, because I think he did something in a game for Atletico or something like that. And I thought, hang on, is he even still in the game? I don't remember seeing him. He is in the game. He's just done nothing to warrant a special card. He has had a Team of the Season or Team of the Year nominee a few FIFAs ago, so wouldn't be surprised to see him come back. Pepe Reina has only once had a card this high rated, and it was back in FIFA 10. I know, it's crazy to think, right? He's been around for God knows how long, and this is his highest ever rated card. It is almost identical to the 88 that he had in FIFA 10. I've had to up it a little bit because of the way EA has changed over the years, but still. Moving on to Giovinco. This guy gets a special card every year because, well, it's Giovinco. Not the easiest player to link into teams, with the amount of icons floating around this year, though it shouldn't be too difficult. Great pace, good dribbling, decent passing, nice shooting, lacks physical, of course, but definitely one for the Flashback SBCs. This is an interesting one. PK. Apparently has never had over 72 pace as a special item, unless it was some sort of really weird card that they just sort of, like one of those Halloween type cards. But this is possible because he hasn't done anything this year to warrant a special item, so they may go for this. Moving on to Mario Götze, now back in the game with PSV, has had a number of special cards throughout FIFA with Team of the Seasons and all the rest of it, but because he was out of the game and he's just come back, EA have already given one to Joe Hart. I would not be surprised to see all of the returning players, or at least a handful of them, get flashback cards in the coming weeks, and Götze is at the forefront of that. As is Martin Skrtel, a very good Team of the Season card a few seasons ago, has bounced around a few clubs since then, and is now back in the Turkish league, so why not? I mean, he would be almost impossible to fit into a team, and that's why I've made him as good as he is. This is actually a replica of a card he got a few seasons ago, but EA will tend to make him very good because he's difficult to link. Coutinho, another player who has played this season but hasn't got a special item of any description, so maybe a flashback, but I mean, he could potentially get a player moments or any other promo that EA see fit. I would really expect to see a special item come from Coutinho very soon. Not necessarily from playing, but just from what EA giving him one, essentially. Look out for this. It's going to happen at some point. And finally, a player that I thought would be the first one on the list, Edison Cavani. I think he's already said he wants to go to Argentina at the end of his stint with Manchester United. I think he's mentioned Boca Juniors, which is a wild move. He's still good enough to be playing for top teams in Europe. He's playing very well for Manchester United. He's not carrying them. I think that's down to Bruno and the rest of the team playing well. But Cavani has definitely added. He's not hindering at all. He's not Radamel Falcao, that's for sure. But there we go. There's your list. A lot of returning players. I've left out a lot. I think Nathaniel Klein's back in the game. Could have included him. Haven't done so. No reason in particular. I just didn't really fancy it. There was a few others as well that I think I could have included that I didn't. They may feature in the player moments. But for the most part, I just sort of handpicked the ones that I think EA would choose the most. But if you could handpick one flashback card from all of those, who would it be and why? I think I'd either go for Martinez, as in Joseph Martinez of Atlanta, or maybe Quaresma, just for nostalgia purposes. But I tell you what, that Cavani card would be very good. They are all sort of based on cards they've had in the past. It's not me completely blindly making up stats. They have had cards that are basically the same or 1 or 2 points difference here or there. So I have gone back through generations and had a look. But let me know what you think of the predictions in the comments section. Have I got anything right? Have I got anything wrong? Have I left anyone out? Feel free to let me know. If you have enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for new, and until the next time, goodbye.